Educational GMAT. Your partner in your GMAT journey.
Proposed definition of the word. Now, this kind of a question, this is a pattern that I've seen actually quite often tested. Now, in this particular question, it's testing you on the word ship. Now, obviously, this word itself may change from one question to another, but this pattern is very common. So I'll let you go through this and then we'll discuss. So here, let's understand the question. There is a definition of ship that is provided in the legal document. And what is that definition of ship? The definition of ship starts from here and ends here. That's the definition. That's the proposed definition. Proposed definition, right? Proposed definition. Now, the proposed definition means this definition of the ship fails to capture the standard concept of ship. Now, standard concept, right? You have a certain image of a ship in mind, right? That's the standard concept of a ship. In that, it allows, it as in this proposed definition allows for the inclusion of some things that are not ordinarily thought of as ships. For example, and then you have to choose one of these. Did you get what the question is asking for? What does this proposed definition allow as far as ship goes? What does this proposed definition allow that we do not normally associate a ship with? Did you get the question, guys? What does this definition allow that the standard concept of what does standard concept of a ship mean? Whatever image that we have of a ship in our mind, right? What does this definition allow that we normally do not associate a ship with? So what do you think? Among these five, which ones will qualify? Yes, friends. Shambhavi, Ram, Rohil, what do you guys think? All right, okay, all right. Now, Ram is saying cruise ships. First of all, cruise ships are ships. Do you agree? Cruise ships are obviously ships, right? Now, this definition of a ship, right? This is the definition of a ship. It says that, first of all, cruise ships, clearly they are constructed of wood, metal, or other rigid solid material. They are constructed, right? Are they designed for transport of persons? Yes. For purposes of pleasure? Yes. On waterways? Yes. So now notice, Ram, this definition includes cruise ships, and standard concept of a ship also includes cruise ships, right? So what we are, however, looking for here is something that this definition allows for, but standard concept of a ship does not allow for. By standard concept of a ship, again, what are we talking about? The image of ship that we have in mind. So what does this allow for? But standard concept of a ship does not allow for. So that is what we are trying to figure out. Okay, all right. No, for blank one, what's your answer? By the way, for blank one, which one is your answer? Because Rohil, I'm getting slightly confused with your responses. For blank one, which one is your answer? Okay. Okay, let's discuss both of these. Rohil says oil tankers. Now, oil tankers, if you look at it, tanker, oil tanker means oil ships, correct? Oil tankers means oil ships, agreed? Oil tankers means oil ships. Obviously, standard concept of a ship considers this as ship, right? How about this definition? Does this definition also consider oil tankers as ship? I would say yes. Oil tankers are perhaps constructed of metal, right? They are designed for transport of commodities. In this case, what commodity? Oil, right? For the purpose of commerce on waterway. So oil tankers are included in this definition. Standard concept of a ship also includes oil tankers as ships. Okay, all right. Now let's look at airplanes. First of all, does the standard concept of a ship, does it include airplane as a ship? No, right? Standard concept does not include airplanes as ships. Okay. Does this definition include airplanes as ship? Again, no. Why not? Because according to this, obviously it should be on waterways. Airplanes obviously are not on waterways, right? So airplanes are not considered as ships either in the standard concept of ship or in the given definition, right? However, here, what are we looking for? I have still not gotten the right answer. What are we looking for in blank one? Something that is not considered a standard concept of a ship, but has been allowed as a ship as per this given definition. What do you guys think? Okay, now this is where it gets tricky, guys. This is where it gets tricky. Notice we are talking about ship, right? So human-made floating devices constructed of wood, metal, or other rigid solid material and designed for transport of persons. Now, if you, by the way, a canoe, does the standard concept of a ship consider canoe as a ship? No. Standard concept, right? Canoe is like very small boat, right? So standard concept, in other words, the image that we have of a ship in our mind, that does not allow canoe to be considered a ship. Okay. Does this definition allow canoe to be considered as ship? Yes. Notice, because canoe is a human made floating device constructed of either wood or metal. Yes. Designed for transport of persons. Yes. For the purpose of convenience or pleasure on waterways, including canals. So a small boat, in other words, a canoe in a canal, as per this definition, will qualify to be considered a ship. However, in the standard concept of a ship, obviously a canoe is not a ship, right? So canoe is the answer in blank one. Okay, now let's come to blank two. What is blank two expecting us? Excludes. In other words, this definition, what does this definition exclude? That a standard concept of a ship includes. Do you get the question? What, as far as ships go, what does, which of these will not qualify in the given definition, but we associate that as part of a standard concept of a ship? Now, Rohil says battleships. Battleships are clearly ships as per the standard concept, right? Now, are battleships included in the given definition? No. They are human made floating devices constructed of metal. Okay, fair enough. Till here, we are fine, right? Designed for transport, okay, of persons and or goods or commodities. We are okay till here also. Then it says for the purpose of convenience, pleasure, or commerce. Clearly, none of these would qualify to be a battleship. So battleships obviously are included as ships or considered ships as part of the standard concept of ship, but battleship is not considered a ship as per the given definition of ships. All right. So this canoe is something that we normally do not associate with being a ship, but is included here. Battleship, we normally associate with being a ship, but is excluded here. So these would be the right answers. All right. So again, reiterating, in airplanes, there is no anomaly. There is no difference of opinion. Standard concept of ship does not include airplanes as ships. Given definition also does not include airplanes as ships. So there is no anomaly.